It's something that most of us have only dreamt we could do, fly. But here in Missoula, that dream is achievable.
Once I got through that first marathon, running the second and now going to be my 8th marathon, it's not that it's not hard, but it's just I know I can do it.
Rhonda Copeland is legally blind, yet every year since the Missoula Marathon debuted, she's competed. When Gus was diagnosed with cancer, the Robinson family quickly got him chemotherapy, and unlike humans, it doesn't affect Gus. It doesn't affect dogs really as much as it does humans. He kept all of his golden locks and all of his energy. Now there is one injury that can't be bandaged or treated on the sideline. Injuries like concussions. Injuries like concussions are increasing every year, but advancements in them are as well. So to find out more about the treatment of those, we came here to Peak Performance Physical Therapy to talk to owner and physical therapist Jill Olson. Now the highest altitude that anybody has ever reached launching off Mount Sentinel was 15,000 feet, and the longest distance was from here to Helena, almost 100 miles. But the emphasis of the sport isn't to push oneself, it's to relax, have a safe flight, and enjoy the view from above. Reporting in Missoula, Mitch Schafer, MTN Sports. Emily Von Jensen is one of 5 people on record to swim the entire length of Flathead Lake. In July 2016, she decided she wanted to test her limits more. So starting on July 29th, the Kalispell native will attempt to become the first person ever to double-cross the largest freshwater lake west of the Mississippi River.
I just frankly love this lake, and to want to stay in a body of water for a lengthy period of time, 24 hours plus, I think you really have to know the conditions of the lake and really know what to expect.
The swim is expected to take approximately 36 hours, Von Jensen said. Luckily, she'll have a swimming buddy for the return trip. Her Cats Masters teammate John Cole is hoping to join Von Jensen as the 6th person to conquer Flathead Lake's 28-mile swim. The challenge is not just meant to push her abilities as a swimmer, though. Von Jensen's journey is aimed towards raising money and support for 2 Montana children struggling with life-altering illnesses. It's the fuel that not only keeps her swimming, but Cole as well, a Kalispell pediatrician himself.
To have a difficult challenge like we're going to try to undertake, and for the proceeds and the support of the community towards this amazing foundation to help out these kids and families in need, that's more motivation than I ever would need.
For me personally, there's been so many times when I've been in the middle of a swim that I wanted to stop, and you just push it out of your head because the kids that are going through these medical issues do not get to say, I'm tired, I get to stop. Frankly, I probably would not have done the amount of swimming I have done if I hadn't had that motivation behind it.
Reporting on Flathead Lake, Mitch Schafer, MTN Sports. The state of Montana is one of the few across the nation that allows unsanctioned mixed martial arts. This allows Connell Powers the ability to compete in the sport that he loves. And the results show he's really good at it. The 16-year-old currently owns an undefeated 4-0 record. In his first ever amateur fight as a 15-year-old, Powers defeated Richard Coleman, a 23-year-old man, with a first-round technical knockout. The 3 fights that preceded ended similarly, including his most recent victory in his hometown of Missoula.
That was definitely the most satisfactional win. Right when you finish it, it's like, it feels like the whole world's lifted off your shoulders. It was definitely pretty crazy just sitting in the middle of the cage, everyone's screaming your name, looking around.
You put the work in, you can beat anybody, and he's definitely put hours and hours and hours of work in, so he's got the technique, he's got the mentality, so I'm really not surprised that he's beating these guys.
Since childhood, Powers has been around the sport of MMA. He began wrestling at age 5 and has spent years training with his father, Matt, who was also his coach for the local Dog Pound fight team.
It was more or less like something that I really enjoyed doing. My dad, he's been a big influence in my life. He's a great role model to me. And I guess I just always kind of wanted to be like him, and I love the sport.
It's nerve-wracking. Honestly, I don't really like it. I'd rather just watch. I'd rather he just stuck with wrestling, but this is what he wants to do, and I'm a dad, so I have to support it.
The support from Connell's father has helped the teenager find success. 5 days a week, the duo train together right here at Ridge Fitness. However, encouragement for Powers is not exactly widespread. Some feel that minors fighting adults is wrong, to put it kindly, and the Powers have been hearing about it since before Connell's first fight. But the way that they look at it, age doesn't matter in this sport.
You're not throwing two people in a jail cell and wishing them luck. You got two trained athletes that know how to punch, know how to kick, knee, elbow, wrestle, and submit. That's their sport. And the other thing is these kids, they're athletes. You can't look at them as an adult or a kid. They're athletes. I have an athlete that can compete in a venue with other athletes.
I want people to know that age doesn't matter. It's just hard work. If you outwork anybody, you'll be better than them. And I want people to view the sport differently. Hopefully, people will stop looking at it as, oh, child abuse, yada, yada, yada. I just want them to look at it as, this is just me doing my thing as a sport.
Reporting in Missoula, Mitch Schafer, MTN Sports.
Gus.
It was a day in early December the Robinson family will never forget. John Robinson took his golden retriever Gus to the veterinarian prior to a field trial in January. A regular checkup turned into something every pet owner dreads hearing: cancer.
Going in for something unrelated to its lymphoma, oh, and by the way, it's 100% fatal. Most dogs only live 3 months from the time we find this. At first, I just didn't believe it.
When Gus was diagnosed with cancer, the Robinson family quickly got him chemotherapy. And unlike humans, it doesn't affect Gus. It doesn't affect dogs really as much as it does humans. He kept all of his golden locks and all of his energy.
Veterinary oncologist, Dr. Ogilvy, is awesome. He said it's all about quality of life. Quality of life for these dogs is doing this. He goes, I want you to keep doing that. And at first we were dubious. We were thinking, well, we're just going to be going through the motion, but we'll keep them happy. Well, gosh darn, he was competitive.
Competitive enough to take first place in a California field trial that sent the duo to the National Amateur Field Trials in Vermont. While there, Gus gave it everything he had. The 9-year-old retriever made it nearly halfway through the 8-day competition before being eliminated. But it was the lead-up before the event that made the experience worth it for both of them.
The week before the national, we call pre-national training, and that was the most fun I've ever had in any dog-related sport. There were 18 of us from all across the country got together, and there was one pro running us training. It was camaraderie. You're rooting for each other's dogs, and it was just for that, it was an awesome experience.
And while the Robinsons know Gus has cancer, he doesn't. So Gus still goes about his day like a typical happy dog, giving his owners peace of mind.
You know, we'll just enjoy it day by day. As long as he's as healthy and happy as he is, you know, we're just going to take that. You know, I don't know. I can't express how much love I have for this dog. He's just super.
Reporting in Ronan, Mitch Schafer, MTN Sports.
Time now for sports with Mitch Schafer.
That is the Montana Grizzlies softball team the moment they found out which team they would be playing in the program's first ever NCAA tournament game. Thank you all for joining us. I am Mitch Schafer, and what a moment for everyone involved in the celebration. The Grizzlies finding out tonight that they will play the Washington Huskies in its first NCAA tournament appearance, but the road to this point wasn't easy.
I've just been blessed to be a part of its growth. The university gave me that opportunity. The state gave me that opportunity. I'm forever blessed, forever grateful for what we have done. You guys, I'm proud to be a part of it. Thank you for being here.
That man needs no introduction. The University of Montana honored former Lady Grizz head coach Robin Selvig following his 38 years coaching the program.
Thank you everyone for rejoining us again here for the first Thursday night pep rally of the year. We're at Sentinel High School, and they're coming off a big win, week 1 win at Billings Skyview, 42-28. We're here with Dane Oliver, the head coach of the Sentinel Spartans. And coach, in that game over at Billings, what was working for your team?
How about Game 6 of the NLCS? Cubs have a chance to move on to the World Series with a win. They just got to get past that guy, Clayton Kershaw. Chris Bryant in the first gets an RBI single to right. Dexter Fowler scores. You go, we go, Dex. Then in the fifth, Anthony Rizzo. Yabo! 5-0 Northsiders. That carries into the ninth inning when Yasiel Puig grounds into a double play, and for the first time since my grandpa was born in 1945, the Chicago Cubs are on top of the National League. Sam, can you please put me back on screen? That's right. Wherever you are, Cubs fans, fly the W. Fly it. We'll be right back. A dip in the lake is one of the more refreshing cures for the summer heat. Some people like to dip their toes to stay cool, and others like to swim for 30-plus hours. Emily Von Jensen is one of those that likes to swim for 30-plus hours. She began her record-breaking attempt to become the first person ever to swim Flathead Lake down and back. She left Summers this morning at 6 a.m. and now is swimming past Kings Point right there. The Kalispell native was planning on being in Polson Bay by this time, so she's a little behind schedule. But once she reaches Polson, John Cole, another swimmer, will attempt to become the sixth person to swim Flathead one way with Von Jensen. And last but not least, tonight at around 9:30, Kalispell native Emily Von Jensen became the first person ever to swim Flathead Lake down and back. In addition to Von Jensen's 56-mile swim, John Cole joined her in the second half, becoming the sixth person to swim the lake one way. The pair of swimmers didn't challenge themselves for fun, though. They raised money and support for 2 Montana children struggling with life-altering illnesses. To read more on their mission, you can visit Von Jensen's nonprofit's website, enduringwaves.com. We'll be right back.